At the top, nothing seems to change. Across 32 annual observations, China stays first, the United States second, and India third. But a fixed order does not make this a static race. The closest leader gap comes in 2004. The widest comes in 2022. And below the top 3, countries move in and out of the top 10 in 26 of the 31 year-to-year transitions. This chart ranks reported cereal production in metric tons for cereals harvested as dry grain. It does not rank food security. How can the same 3 countries hold the entire podium while the distance at the top, and the race beneath them, keep changing? Welcome to Data Race 360. The data come from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations and are distributed through the World Bank. The chart follows the project-locked period from 1992 through 2023 and compares current sovereign countries retained within the project. World Bank aggregates and non-sovereign economies are outside this ranking. The indicator covers cereals harvested as dry grain. It excludes crops harvested for hay, harvested green for food or feed, harvested for silage, or used for grazing. A higher rank means a larger reported production volume within the same year. It does not measure cereal exports, agricultural efficiency, self-sufficiency, the number of people fed, or the final use of the grain. And while the data show changes in values, ranks, and gaps, they do not establish why those changes occurred. To understand this race, watch 2 tracks at once. The first is the distance between China and the United States. The second is the movement below the fixed podium, where Brazil begins in 8th place and eventually reaches 4th. In the year 1992, China opens the race at rank number 1. The United States is 2nd. India is 3rd. The gap between 1st and 2nd is 48,677,468.60 metric tons. The podium order that begins here will remain unchanged for the entire dataset. Beneath it, the Russian Federation is 4th and France is 5th. Indonesia is 6th, Canada 7th, Brazil 8th, Ukraine 9th, and Germany 10th. Brazil begins with 44,057,994.00 metric tons. At this point, it is not yet the main challenger below the podium. The opening top 10 looks stable from a distance. But the first phase quickly shows how much movement those endpoints can hide. By 1998, China, the United States, and India still occupy the same 3 positions. Their ranks do not move, but the leader gap has expanded. The more dramatic shift comes immediately below them. The Russian Federation falls from 4th to 7th. France rises to 4th. Indonesia moves to 5th, and Canada to 6th. Germany advances from 10th to 8th. Brazil falls to 9th. Argentina climbs 5 positions and enters at number 10, replacing Ukraine. No podium rank has changed. Yet the internal order of the top 10 already looks different. This is the first warning against reading a stable leaderboard as a stable race. A country can remain inside the leading group while its position and production change sharply. The next phase brings the closest challenge to China in the entire dataset. 1 year before the 2004 snapshot, China reaches its dataset trough. At the same time, Brazil jumps from rank number 7 to rank number 4. Australia rises from rank number 26 to rank number 9. Canada enters the top 10, while Germany and Ukraine exit. It is the strongest one-year top 10 comeback in the dataset for Australia. But it is temporary. Australia falls to rank number 14 in the following year. By 2004, China still ranks first, and the United States still ranks second. But the leader gap has narrowed to exactly 22,546,636.60 metric tons, the smallest separation in the dataset. The United States comes closer than at any other point, but it does not overtake China. The Russian Federation has recovered to 4th. France is 5th. Indonesia is 6th, Brazil 7th, Germany 8th, Canada 9th, and Ukraine 10th. The 2004 top 10 contains the same 10 countries as the opening year, but their order has changed. Even this familiar-looking snapshot hides 2 entrants and 2 exits during the year-to-year transition. This is the central tension at the top. Rank number 1 never changes, but the strength of that lead changes dramatically. After the closest approach, China rebuilds its separation. Below the podium, the field begins to reorganize again. By 2010, China leads. The United States remains second, India remains third, and the leader gap has expanded. Indonesia rises to fourth, with Brazil fifth. France is sixth, while the Russian Federation has fallen back to seventh. The lower boundary changes more sharply. Bangladesh reaches eighth. Argentina surges from rank number 20 to rank number 9 in a single year. Canada holds 10th place. Germany and Ukraine are outside this representative top 10. The podium is still frozen. But positions 4 through 10 are being contested through different paths: steady persistence, sudden entry, recovery, and reversal. 2 years later, the moving threshold creates one of the clearest paradoxes in the story. By 2012, China, the United States, and India remain first, second, and third. Brazil is fourth, Indonesia fifth, and the Russian Federation sixth. France ranks 7th, Bangladesh 8th, and Canada returns at number 9. Vietnam rises from 12th to 10th with exactly 48,712,657.95 metric tons. Canada and Vietnam enter the top 10. Argentina and Ukraine exit. This is another transition with 2 entrants and 2 exits. For Vietnam, however, entry does not become a permanent position. Its next comparison reveals why rank and production must be read separately. By 2015, Vietnam reports a higher value of 50,379,409.69 metric tons. But instead of holding 10th place, it ranks 12th. Its production is higher than in 2012, yet the top 10 threshold has moved above it. Canada now holds rank number 10. The upper half below the podium has also changed. Brazil reaches 4th, and the Russian Federation recovers to 5th. Indonesia moves from 4th in 2010 to 6th in 2015 even though its value is higher. France is 7th, Ukraine returns at 8th, Bangladesh is 9th, and Canada remains 10th. Argentina is outside this representative top 10. Vietnam's path exposes the hidden rule of any ranking. A country can grow and still lose position when the surrounding field moves faster. The same relative pressure appears again 1 year later, this time much closer to the top. By 2016, the United States reaches its dataset peak, while China remains first. The leader gap contracts from its 2015 level. Once again, the distance changes sharply without a single podium rank changing. The Russian Federation rises to 4th, and Brazil moves to 5th. Argentina enters at rank number 7. France falls from 7th to 11th and exits the top 10. This is not one smooth climb or one smooth decline. It is a sequence of relative movements, where a higher value can coexist with a lower rank, and a familiar endpoint can conceal a very different route. Indonesia is a clear example. It begins 6th in 1992, rises as high as 4th in 2010, falls to 8th in 2019 and 2021, and eventually returns to 6th. France reveals the opposite pressure. Its reported production rises from the opening year to the final year. Yet its rank falls from 5th to 9th. More production does not guarantee rank protection. By 2019, the modern top 5 structure is visible. China remains first, the United States second, and India third. Brazil returns to 4th, moving ahead of the Russian Federation in 5th. Argentina reaches 6th. Ukraine is 7th, Indonesia 8th, France 9th, and Canada 10th. Bangladesh exits this representative top 10. The top 5 will now remain unchanged through the final snapshot. The movement concentrates around ranks 6 through 11. Across the full dataset, 6 countries never leave the top 10: China, the United States, India, Brazil, the Russian Federation, and Indonesia. That permanent core coexists with constant boundary pressure. The top 10 composition changes in 26 of 31 annual transitions. Yet the opening and final lists differ by only 2 countries. Argentina and Bangladesh replace Canada and Germany. This is another hidden paradox. Similar endpoints can conceal years of entry, exit, recovery, and reversal. By 2021, Argentina reaches its dataset peak and holds rank number 6. Ukraine reaches its own dataset peak and ranks 7th. Indonesia is 8th. France re-enters at 9th. Bangladesh is 10th, while Canada falls from rank number 8 to rank number 14 and exits. The final 3 years now set up 2 races at once. At the top, China's separation from the United States is moving toward a record. At the boundary, Ukraine and Canada are about to exchange places twice. By 2022, China remains first, and the United States remains second. The gap reaches 224,234,334.60 metric tons, the largest in the dataset. The podium order is exactly the same as it was at the closest point in 2004. But the distance between first and second is now almost a factor of 10 larger. Below the top 5, Argentina is 6th and Indonesia 7th. Canada rebounds from rank number 14 to rank number 8. Bangladesh is 9th and France 10th. Ukraine moves in the opposite direction. After ranking 7th in 2021, it falls to 12th in 2022 and exits the top 10. 1 year remains. The widest leader gap will narrow, and the final boundary will reverse again. By 2023, China is still first. The United States remains second. India remains third. The frozen podium completes all 32 annual observations without a single rank change. The final leader gap is 179,100,548.30 metric tons. It is narrower than the 2022 record, but far wider than the 2004 minimum. Brazil finishes 4th at exactly 155,877,082.00 metric tons. It began the race at rank number 8. Its rise to 4th is the strongest durable change below the fixed podium. The Russian Federation finishes 5th. Indonesia returns to 6th, even though its value is slightly lower than in 2019. Bangladesh rises to 7th. Argentina finishes 8th. France is 9th. Then comes the final margin. Ukraine returns to the top 10 at rank number 10 with 59,318,005.32 metric tons. Canada finishes rank number 11 with 59,240,420.77. Only a narrow difference separates them. Canada is outside the final top 10 even though its value is higher than its opening value. Its exit is not a simple uninterrupted decline. It ranked 8th only 1 year earlier. Ukraine's final rank also hides the path beneath it, 7th in 2021, 12th in 2022, and 10th in 2023. Rank 7 through 11 finish within 7,072,964.24 metric tons of one another. Small differences decide several positions at the boundary, while the podium remains completely unchanged. That is the real structure of this race. Rank stability, production growth, and competitive distance are 3 different stories. China never loses first place. The United States never leaves second. India never leaves third. But China's lead moves from its smallest point in 2004 to its largest in 2022. Brazil rises durably from 8th to 4th. And beneath the permanent core, the top 10 keeps rotating until Ukraine takes the final place over Canada by only 77,584.55 metric tons. Subscribe to Data Race 360 for more data-driven stories.